Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are still working on King Richard II, and today we get to hear from Richard and from Bullingbrook because we are almost at the end of Act 4, Scene 1, which is otherwise known as the deposition scene, because it is in this scene where King Richard hands over his crown and renounces his titles and his lands and his rights and all that sort of a thing, and gives them over to Bullingbrook for all of the reasons that he is now being forced to read out loud. So Northumberland had given him this list, and I was like, you have to read this list of all of your sins out loud, which he really doesn't want to do, because let's face it, who would want to have to do that? And Northumberland was like, no, but you have to. And he's like, my eyes are too full of tears. And then yesterday he was being really self-pitying about it, to the point where he calls for a mirror. He needs somebody to bring him a mirror. And so somebody goes to get said mirror, and while they go to get the mirror, Northumberland is still like, come on, you got to read this. And Richard's like, wait until I have my mirror. And Bullingbrook is like, I think we've taken this a little, it's been taken far enough. And Northumberland's like, but the people need to be satisfied. And Richard says, they shall be satisfied. I'll read enough when I do see the very book indeed where all my sins are writ, and that's myself. Give me that glass, and therein will I read. No deeper wrinkles yet. Hath sorrow struck so many blows upon this face of mine, and made no deeper wounds? O flattering glass, like to my followers in prosperity, thou dost beguile me. Was this face the face that every day under his household roof did keep 10,000 men? Was this the face that like the sun did make beholders wink? Is this the face which faced so many follies, that was at last outfaced by Bullingbrook? A brittle glory shineth in this face. As brittle as the glory is the face, for there it is, cracked in 100,000 shivers. Mark, silent king, the moral of this sport, how soon my sorrow hath destroyed my face. The shadow of your sorrow hath destroyed the shadow of your face. Say that again. The shadow of my sorrow. Let's see. 'Tis very true, my grief lies all within, and these external manner of laments are merely shadows to the unseen grief that swells with silence in the tortured soul. There lies the substance, and I thank thee, King, for thy great bounty, that not only givest me cause to wail, but teachest me the way how to lament the cause. I'll beg one boon, and then I'll be gone, and trouble you no more. Shall I obtain it? So this is, it's a little bit of a pity party on Richard's behalf, and a little bit with the hat in between was Bullingbrook. So he gets the glass, and I like to equate it to, when you turn 16 and you're like, oh, I'm a grown-up now because I have my driver's license. Or the day after you get married, you look at your face to see if it looks any different, to see if you look different, to see if you look like you've changed, and you probably haven't. And that's what happens to him when he gets this mirror. He looks at it, and he still looks the same. He doesn't look undone, but he's having a hard time reconciling who he is now with who he has always known this person to be. And Bullingbrook then tries to be a little comforting, I guess, with the shadow of your sorrow hath destroyed the shadow of your face. Like, these are just things that you're thinking of. They're not real, they're not tangible, they're not visible, all of that sort of thing. And Richard is like, oh, you're right, I'm just dying on the inside, and that makes it so much better. Thank you for pointing out to me that I'm dying on the inside, because you killed me on the inside. That's lovely. Can I have just one more thing before I go? And Bullingbrook is like, fair cousin, you shouldn't have to ask. And then King Richard's like, oh, that's funny, fair cousin. When I was the king, see, this makes me better than a king. When I was the king, I had subjects flattering me, and now that I'm a subject, I have a king flattering me. So, whoa, I'm awesome. And Bullingbrook is like, what is it that you want? And he's like, just let me go. And Bolingbroke is like, where? And he's like, anywhere, as long as it's nowhere near you. Just let me go. So they convey him to the tower. They take him off, and Bolingbroke says, okay, on Wednesday I'm going to be king. Let's set the coronation. It'll be Wednesday. And then he leaves, and we're left on stage with just the Bishop of Carlisle, the Archbishop of Westerbrook or something like that, and O'Merle. And O'Merle is very upset about this whole thing. If you remember earlier in the scene, even the king, or maybe it was 3-3, the king makes reference to O'Merle crying. O'Merle was very much on King Richard's side through this whole ordeal. And O'Merle is like, are we gonna do nothing about this Bullingbrook character? Like, what's going on? And the one that's not the Bishop of Carlisle, if it's the Archbishop of whatever, or yeah, I'll figure that out tomorrow, who exactly that was. He's like, we can't say anything right exactly now, so come over to my house for supper and we'll have a chat about some potential things that could happen in the future. So yeah, all in one scene. We finally made it to the end of Act 4, Scene 1. And all within that scene, Richard gives up his crown, Bolingbroke takes his crown, Bolingbroke sets the coronation date, and already we've got people plotting to undo Bolingbroke. So we've still got a whole act of the play to go. Where do you think it's going to go from here? Because it's not like it's crazy enough already. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.